Good evening and welcome to the May 7th meeting of the Board of Selectmen. If everybody would rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening and welcome. We have no public hearings today. Any announcements from the board?
No.
Just a reminder that RSU 57 budget vote is starting at what, 7 o'clock?
Correct.
Tonight at the middle school. So if anybody's interested in voicing their opinion on the simple flyer that you got in the mail, please do so.
I do have a quick announcement.
Yep.
So, Waterboro's own pet food pantry, No Bowl Empty, for those of you that don't know, they won the Best of 207 award for the best nonprofit in the state of Maine, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
So congratulations to Nadine and keep up the good work.
Good. Jim?
John?
John?
We have a book sale at the library June 1st.
Okay. Hearing anything?
I'm good.
Dwayne?
I'm all set.
All set? All right. Appointments and additions or deletions to the agenda. I don't see anything. We do have an appointment tonight. We have Ron Smith here who is going to present from R.H.R. Smith, the 2023 audit. So the floor is yours, sir.
Good evening. So I'm Ron Smith, principal with R.H.R. Smith & Company. I'm tired. We hired 35 people last year to expand our practice and do 2/3 now of all the municipalities in the state of Maine. So I'm here to talk about Waterboro, and really kind of the state of what our government's in, answer any questions that you guys have and go over the financial condition. And usually one of the things that we talk about is your crisis fund every year and really kind of what you got available for tax relief, to provide towards tax relief for the next budget. So having said that, based upon a budget of about, you've got our highest opinion and unmodified opinion. So the numbers are true and accurate. Based upon a budget of $19 million north of for the town of Waterboro, we like to see your fund balance, your carryover, at about $1.5 million, $3 million, $4.5 million, 30, 60, 90 days of your operating budget. And I can remember the days in Waterboro where you had no fund balance. So, and one of the things, and that birthed your crisis fund. And the crisis fund says is you will bank 1/12-ish, of your budget to throw towards things like education, county, whatever it is, that would cause a crisis, within the town. And I'll put math to that every year. About $1.5 million for this year that we just audited is what we set aside. So the year before was a little 1.3, so it's going to go up. I'd say this year's probably looking like $1.6, $1.7 million. So when you take that and set that aside of the totality of your fund balance, last year your unassigned fund balance was about $700,000 because you used $600 for this budget that's about to end, 8 weeks just from now, okay? And then we had to bank that crisis fund, which makes up the reserve, the money. What was left over for this year? About $1.1 million on 6/30/23. So it's $400,000 up from where it was a year ago at this time is the best way I can say it. So clearly if the town's looking to, to provide some tax relief, I'd say that $600,000 is clearly available to you to use again for your 25 budget. I'd say that. And then we take a hard look at it again this year. The one thing that I'll say this year that I said last year, and I'll just say, Build Back America package is about to go alive and well once we use up all of our ARPA money, here by December 31st or designate it, so you're light in capital. Okay, you're light in capital. I know you got some various pools of capital reserve money. I'd still say that that's an area you're light in. I'd probably definitely take a look at that over the next 3 years as this state starts putting $2.5 billion into local infrastructure, road, bridges, culverts, things like that, infrastructure, renovations. And I think once probably later on this fall, once they start spending down and get rid of this ARPA funds, and I think at this time you had about $400,000 left, and I'll assume that you've got a plan to spend that or designate that by December 31st, which is kind of like the witching hour, and there's some other, ways that we can, deal with that. But once that's gone, be prepared for round two. Once the state kind of spends it all, make sure that all the money that it, put out into the localities in the state, that money dries up and is gone. Get ready for round two, which is infrastructure money. And that's where I say, you could use it, because you're light. That's an area that you're light in, in Waterboro. General fund balance, I'd say you're healthy, above average, is what I would say. You're over 70 days, but you've typically hovered around that 60, 70, 75 day mark. You're right there again. And you've been using 800, 600, maybe another 600 for next year's budget. So I'd say, well done, certainly financially. So that's pretty much the highlights of it, and the concern was, this is as of 6/30/23. Well, guess what? You got about probably less than 4 months to make a designate or have a spending plan for those ARPA funds, as you try to put that final report into the state. So that's about it. No concerns. We had some best practices again. You had some turnover in your finance position. There's some things that, clearly you saw some of the similar struggles with your general ledger reconciliations, and that's pretty much the biggest one, just how to use Trio. Okay, so I'm confident that got better. Okay, so that's good, but there's still some dust left with some reporting issues, payroll reporting issues, and some amended returns that we're working with you guys to help on that I, would expect that we can favorably resolve, but, we see improvement, we see light, at the end of the tunnel, and through all of it, you've been able to maintain a good financial, condition for the town, so. That's about that. There's my report for you.
Thank you. Questions?
There's no whammy, I like that.
No whammies. Listen, I'll tell you,
Yeah.
last week there was a whammy. I don't like whammies either.
Gotcha.
So yeah, there was no whammies here.
So we'll tee it up at the next meeting to accept the audit, and we'll go from there.
Any follow-up questions, let me know, Vince.
Okay.
Thank you.
Good enough.
Guys, take care. Have a good
Thanks.
evening.
Thank you. All right. Let's jump ahead. Any public comment? Glenn, anything? No. Correspondence, we do have the financial reports, latest financial reports, and I think is everybody able to access them in Google?
Yeah,
They should.
Okay.
should be called, yeah.
All right. Reports and staff initiatives, selectmen's reports. Dwayne, anything?
Nothing tonight.
David?
No, sir, not tonight.
Gary?
I do not.
John? Thank you. Okay.
I do, Dennis.
Too late.
Yeah.
No, a lot of comments out around town to how the public works has gone around and cleaned up, and one fella stopped me up here to Lakeside the other night and commented on how they're posting the road closures.
Good idea.
And by closing the road for the day, it doesn't ball up the traffic and helps the public works, and it's working very well. And
That's a good
he
point.
wanted to let me know it and to let everybody else know that he thought it was working very well.
Matt?
A few highlights for you. We have received word that our initial PDA assessments for the early April storm have been validated from both York County and the state, and the numbers have surpassed the thresholds for damage. MEMA has submitted that to the governor, and she will be forwarding off to the president for a declaration. We continue to track and document everything extensively so that we can submit for reimbursements. We've already been using Davy Tree, and obviously our crews have been out every day, and it's pretty much all focused on storm-related damages and debris removal. So that's the foreseeable future what we'll be working on.
We cleared all the hanging branches.
That's, well, that's what they're working on still with the Davy tree, so the aerial crew that's up, they can't do the over CMP lines for utilities, so that's pending central main power. If you haven't heard, we've learned that Lee J has accepted another position and will be leaving Southern Maine Planning Development Commission later in May. For those that don't know Lee J, they're in the middle of a transition of staff, but he's accepted another venture. Also, if you haven't noticed, we've noticed some damage that we'll have to think about for repairs, but Townhouse Cemetery has some walls. I've talked to Jim Carl, and we need to keep this in mind for not this next year's budget, the FY26 budget, but we have some stonework that we need to be done.
And won't that fall under some of this FEMA money as far as damage to that wall?
We might be able to, but I think some of it may have been damaged. If there was anything specific, yes, we'd probably
Yeah.
submit that too, but yes. So, and what Dwayne's mentioning also is all the cemeteries, we've identified over 18 of them that have significant damage. The cemetery committee did a great job at cataloging and documenting the damage, pictures and information they've provided us. So as we move forward in the PDA and for the disaster declaration, we will submit that. We have created a line within the Public Works Department budget, emergency or storm repairs, emergency storm repair funds. It's in the operations account. We transferred money out of the sand and salt pile money and some of the CIP money into there initially to be used for that. Moving on, Lisa and I have completed the paperwork for Maine EMS to receive our portion of the EMS grant that the state released. We have a whopping $25,823.84 coming to the town of Waterboro for sustainability. We're gonna move us light years ahead with that. Talked to Jim Carl. We've been requested to participate with the Wreaths Across America. I think it's a great idea. We're gonna need about 300 wreaths. They're about $1,700 a piece, and we're gonna work on some fundraising opportunities for that.
Not
How much a piece?
1,700.
$17 a piece, sorry.
Okay.
Sorry, $17 a piece, but we're gonna work on some fundraising to raise funds for that. We've had some decent turnouts for the age-friendly meals we've been doing with 55 plus. We've done the chowder luncheon, we've done a pancake breakfast, thanks to the Bryant family. Dwayne came over last week and helped out, made food. We served quite a few, 15, 16 people. It's increased each one we've done.
I'd say it's gaining every week, every
that-
time we do it.
We're getting some positive feedback. The last thing on my list here, and Ron mentioned it a few minutes ago, we had kind of a bullet point to talk to him about as well, but ARPA funds. You heard him say it, we've been talking about it. We are running to the deadline here of what we need to allocate for funds. We're hovering just north of $400,000, and we need to commit those funds by the end of the calendar year. My 3 comments that I've made before is a community function room building on the town hall property, pickleball courts at Friendship Park, and LED message board at town hall and library are 3 items that I've put on the list of items to think about. If you have other items or things that we can think about, certainly let's hear about them, but we need to submit them and talk to Ron to see what we can be eligible to apply those funds to. If we don't allocate, from what I understand, and maybe he has other words for us, Ron, but from what I understand, if we don't allocate those funds, we return those funds.
Yeah.
But
I think we probably ought to have a workshop with the finance committee at least on this very soon, because I think you got money enough to do all 3 projects. Or very close.
So, that's all I have for tonight.
Okay. Questions? Comments? Let's move on to new business. Discuss and vote to sign the abatement for map 34, lot 13A.
I'll make a motion to approve
13E,
that
right?
request.
I'll second that motion.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Okay. Let's talk about discuss vote to appoint a Board of Selectmen representative to Lake Arrowhead community. Gary, this was something that you wanted on the agenda.
Yeah, I was
so-
wondering about that, and I had inquired through Matt if we had done it before, and I thought you said maybe just in the past, we had somebody like a liaison. I don't know, can you guys?
Yeah, I
Think
mean,
about
years and years ago,
Yeah.
we used to go to the annual meeting,
Yeah.
and, I'm not sure that we called it a liaison.
Well,
but,
whatever, yeah, yeah.
But, certainly, it's, if somebody wants to volunteer for it. and go
Well,
to
I
the-
think by default it'd be me, my idea, and I live up there.
Yeah,
I just thought it'd be a good idea to, just go to their meetings and maybe exchange ideas or whatever, That's that sort of thing. And they meet once a month, so it's on a Saturday morning, so it's not a big deal for me to do it, so. I thought I'd open it up and see what you guys thought, and if you guys are all right with it, I don't mind doing it. If you guys have any objection to it, please say so. I'm not gonna be hurt by it. I just wanna know what you think.
There's some good and bad with that.
No? Yeah.
There, I mean,
As
there's
I
some
said,
good and bad, but, when that was created, Ben Gaspy was
No.
the, Public Works, or
Yeah.
I don't know what he was.
he was
the
the executive director.
General
Yeah.
manager up there.
Yeah.
And he was wanting the town to work with him.
Yeah.
And then as it went on, it kind of dwindled because they didn't want to work with the town, we didn't want to work with them
Yeah.
realistically.
Yeah.
And it,
Yeah.
I don't know, different bloods, and then
Yeah.
he disappeared, and then disappeared completely.
Yeah.
And
Well, I
a
know
lot
that,
of new blood up there, and
yeah, so I thought maybe a good idea just to get a feel for it. I know they don't have, and they haven't had a general manager in forever, because they eliminated that position from what I understand is dues payer, that the board makes the decisions as things come up. And I hope to learn more about that, but,
are you a dues payer?
oh yeah, I live up there.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know if you was a dues payer or
Oh, yeah,
not.
oh, yeah.
I didn't know if you was one of them that was on the outside of Lake Arrowhead.
No, I'm right in the beginning.
Yeah.
So, if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out, but I'd be willing to at least go sit at a meeting or two and tell you guys what we've discussed, and,
I think it's a good idea to open up that line of communication with them. But conversely, I'd like to invite somebody from their
Yeah.
board to come down and sit with us, because we're all in the same town, and
Exactly.
we all pay,
Yeah.
taxes to the town of Waterboro, and
so I
I
thought.
just
they-
don't wanna segregate.
Right, yeah,
At that point, it was, Van Gaspy came down, every couple months and just
Yeah.
kind of filled us into what was going on.
right.
But I think it's a great
Where
idea to
they-
open up that communication.
Open the door.
I think it got fractured when there was some issues in and around whether or not they could continue to charge dues, and they wanted to break away
Oh,
and
yeah,
create
that's-
a
yeah.
village corporation or something, and
Yeah,
I think
that's all.
that's
what we said.
kind of what fractured
Yeah.
the relationship.
And that was about the time that Van Gaspy was going out to
Yep,
do what to
yep.
do.
Yeah, so if you guys are all right with it, I'll give it a whirl.
Do we need to make an actual appointment, or can Gary just attend the meetings to
Yeah,
get,
I
to get, to
think-
get a
I
roll?
believe Gary can just attend the meetings
Yeah.
if he's
Okay.
a member,
Yeah.
if he's a,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can go no matter what, but
Yeah, I was gonna
I can go as, selectman, I can go with Gary, but,
Right.
you can do a dual role.
That's fine.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't think unless we want to make a formal appointment, I think let's start with
Yeah,
kind of an informal thing,
Okay.
and you
Go from
report
there.
back, and we'll go from there.
sounds good.
awesome.
Okay? No old business. Discuss and vote to accept the minutes of the April 16th meeting.
so moved.
Yeah, I'll second that.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? let me know if you want to add anything to the agenda, and we'll go from there.
Do we want to set a meeting up with the finance committee on
Well,
maybe
I think, you
prior
know,
to the next meeting or something?
Shoot, 5 o'clock on the 21st?
yeah, we can do that.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I think Matt's got most
Do
of
we have
the
anything,
paperwork.
any executive session on the 21st?
Yes, 5:45.
Okay, so that's just a quick interview, right?
Yeah,
So why don't we,
Yeah.
why don't we do 5 o'clock?
Okay, we'll shoot for 5.
Yep,
it's a workshop.
yep. Anything else? Items needing signature is the abatement. Other than that, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So, second,
All those in favor? Okay. Matt, you can run off.